Everything's a go. We're doing this.
Doing it live.
Do it live. Here at Savor the Burn, we are no stranger to Elijah Craig. Personally, in my house, I love it because I'm the only one in my house that drinks bourbon. and you, I know you're a fan of it. Does Miss Katie?
No.
What? She doesn't? That's all right.
Same boat.
That's all right. We won't hold it against her. She has so many other wonderful qualities. So we're going to get into a side-by-side comparison, if you will, of the original Elijah Craig Straight Rye versus
the Toasted Rye.
The Toasted Rye on this episode of Savor the Burn. Welcome one and all to this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan, and to your right is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm fucking stoked.
Oh man, I'm so excited. We have done a lot of Elijah Craig's. We have not gotten into any of their ryes.
We have not.
And now we got two different offerings. Exact same mash bill, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
One's toasted.
Yeah.
One's just their plain old straight rye.
And the color difference between the two, you can drop that picture here so they can see it.
Yeah.
And do like a slow zoom on it or whatever. I don't care. But you can just see the color difference between the two of these bottles is intense. I really want to know if there's an age on the Toasted Rye versus the regular straight rye. But I'm sure we're going to get into that here pretty soon.
Yeah, let's just jump right on in. We'll kind of go back and forth on them a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and pour up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Make sure we don't get those mixed up in any way.
Right.
Which hopefully it should be pretty self-evident. The cool thing is with both of these, they are both 94 proof. Mm-hmm. So exact same proof. They both have the exact same mash bill, which is 51% rye, 35% corn, and 14% barley. Mm-hmm. In case you did not know, Elijah Craig comes from Heaven Hill, which is located right outside of Louisville.
Pause for the pop. That's a good pop.
You always got to like that.
Right outside of Louisville.
Yep. Actually, about 7 minutes down the road from Jim Beam. So yeah, so the first one is Wait
until I had all the glasses before you said that.
The first one we've got here is the Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. The second one is also a Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. Mm-hmm. It is just their Toasted Rye. And I'm going to go ahead and get into a couple of the descriptions I've got here. The regular... Ooh, that
was a better pop.
That had a pucker to it.
I felt it right here. It's like...
Yeah. So the regular Kentucky Straight Rye, a delightful small batch rye whiskey that's both approachable and strong enough to make the grade. Heaven Hill Distillers is unique. They are one of the oldest and largest bourbon distillers in the world. They have the second largest standing inventory of aging bourbon, and they have grown to become the seventh largest supplier of spirits in the U.S. But they are still family owned. In fact, they are the only family-owned production house left in Kentucky. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. The spirit brands owned and controlled by Heaven Hill includes Evan Williams, Elijah Craig, and their namesake Heaven Hill, and many dozen more. The first extra-aged Kentucky Straight whiskey to join Elijah Craig's award-winning family of bourbons, a unique combination of spicy rye grains and sweet corn, coupled with a steadfast attention to detail, give Elijah Craig Straight Rye the perfect balance of flavor and smoothness. And I'm going to go right on in and read the description I've got for the Toasted Rye.
Yeah.
In this expression, we imbue our award-winning Straight Rye whiskey with even more flavor. Once fully matured, we finish Toasted Rye in a second custom toasted new oak barrel, adding a balanced layer of sweet oak complexity. While the finishing process for Toasted Rye is similar to our toasted barrel bourbon, the difference lies in the mash bill. 51% rye grain instead of corn, the legal requirement for this style of American whiskey. To fully enjoy the sweet oak complexities and long, smooth finish, we recommend that you sip Toasted Rye neat. Well, okay. So what do we have here? We have, which one is toasted?
Right, so-
actually, without telling me, I'd say that one's toasted.
It is. It is. I try to do it this way. So like on the right is the OG straight
Our
rye,
small batch,
and on the
straight
left
rye.
is the toasted barrel.
Toasted.
Right.
Excellent.
So, just
Holy
pay attention to
smokes.
it. Right. It's.
All right. I mean, both of them actually are really, really nice.
I mean, when you do side by side just on nose, this thing is something.
I like that. That's
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick on nose, when it comes to the straight rye. Mm-hmm. What are you picking up?
there's definitely the obvious rye is there on the nose. I think there's some toffee
Toffee.
with a hint of smoke,
Really?
kind of a charred, smoky,
Okay.
and maybe some cocoa.
Cocoa. This is one of the few where I thought leather comes in.
Okay.
But I wrote down malted rye and oats because when I smell this, it's weird how I kind of flash forward into the second nose. Mm-hmm. Of course, we're not there yet. We have it's just something about it kind of reminds me of oats.
Look at those legs.
Cereal grains. Yeah, legs for days. Fucking beautiful. Caramel, vanilla, barley, because it's got kind of that dry grass kind of smell to it.
So hear me out on this one.
All right.
Instead of your plain Jane, boring, just run-of-the-mill vanilla, I'm actually picking up more of a vanilla wafer, like those
Little.
the vanilla cookies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't they called vanilla wafers?
Yeah, Nilla wafers.
Nilla wafers. There we go.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I called that cow food. Because we had, I went to mom's boyfriend's dad's farm, and he had cows on the fence, and I think he farmed hay or something. I don't know, but every once in a while he'd have somebody's cows over to shit in the field and make the grass greener on his side of the fence. I don't know. Anyway, so when we'd run out of apples from the apple tree that were falling on the ground to feed the cows, sometimes out would come this box of Nilla wafers. I'm like, all right, cool. So I put them up there on the fence because you've seen a cow's tongue. It's like,
yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to touch it. It's like stringy slobber. Anyway, so that's just me and my mental defect.
All right.
My PTSD from childhood, among many other things. But
Hey.
I can smell that. Nilla wafers, because it's got kind of a baking spice kind of cakey kind of thing.
Pick up your toasted rye.
Yeah, I haven't spent nearly as much time with the toasted rye.
You can definitely taste that or smell that toasted oak. It's not quite a char.
Fuck. That's like... What is that? What is that?
I'm getting a little bit of honey
Oak
on
and
that
honey.
one.
It's like honey
This one-
overload.
Yeah, the other one is more mapley.
Honey dump. Oak. Yeah, oak definitely shows up, which is interesting because it for me, it didn't show up on the nose on that one at all. But yeah, I mean, there's oak and...
What about any nuts, like almonds or pecans or...
On the nose? Pecans. Really? You're thinking you're picking up like toasted nuts or something? Mm-hmm. I'll put it on here. You said pecans or almonds?
I said pecans and almonds.
You know what? Reverse engineering. Going back and
Sure.
trying to apply the sense to the memory to the nose. Yeah, almonds I could pick up on. That's wild. These are so strong.
Yeah.
The sense on here, especially the honey and the oak. What about the rye?
The rye's there.
On this one here,
The rye's all over it.
yeah, this one here, it's like malted rye all day. This one here,
I feel like the rye on the toasted rye is a little more subtle.
it's subtle. Mm-hmm. That's a fun word to try to TLE. Subtle.
Well, let's
rye.
get into this straight
Yeah,
rye.
let's get straight rye. Get this on the palate. That's a decent rye.
Dude, I ain't mad at
That's
that
a decent
at all.
rye. Whoops.
Oh.
Wrong one.
Oh,
Wow,
custard jumped forward on that one.
There's honey on that.
Honey,
finish.
custard.
So you're finding custard on the palate?
Mm-hmm. Maybe even some creme brulee. That torched, caramelized sugar.
Yeah. Rye shows up on the palate.
Oh man.
It shows up in the finish. Oak shows up in the finish.
Oak all over it. All right. Get a little swish of this one. That one's
That
good
is
too.
so much smoother.
Yeah,
That's
really smooth. The custard and the creme brulee do not come forward on this one.
It's got, I don't know, dude. I think it's got something in there that's kind of
it's definitely
milky sweet.
Yeah, is that milk chocolate?
I don't know. I'm actually kind of confused on this because we went from a really good rye to it's just a better rye. This one. Yeah. I mentioned to you on Messenger earlier that I've been pre-gaming on my ryes. That Junction 35 that we did months and months and months ago. As I was building my mic case, I was working on that bottle just because it was there. And I'm like, I think I'm going to have a drink. You know.
Did you finish it yet?
I did. Actually, I'm waiting on one thing. It's like a pencil pouch, but it was supposed to be here Monday, but it's not yet. It's a whole another week out. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I polished that one off, and then I moved on to the next rye bottle that I had down there was the High West Double Rye.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Which was superb.
Yep.
And
yep.
I was really sad to see that one go, and it went so fast. Just if you like rye, get yourselves a bottle of that High West Double Rye. It's a bottle to behold. And now I'm finishing up. Oh no, shit! I actually did. I finished off the Jefferson Ocean Rye.
That's a good rye.
That one has a great. It's a great representation of a malted rye. You know, kind of forward.
I think I still
rye
have
whiskey.
a little 1.7 back here that you left me. Yep.
Well, it's, if you liked it, if you loved it, definitely grab yourself another bottle. It's worth it. But yeah, back to these guys here. I need to get this back on the palate.
The regular rye has a little bit sharper rye spice to it.
You think so?
I do.
On palate?
On palate. And maybe
So this
even
is-
finish.
So you're thinking it's a softer rye?
The Toasted is definitely a softer rye. And that's not a bad thing.
Right, it's definitely not, because rye has a way of putting people off. For a long time, you had a rye whiskey, and for a long time you thought, I don't like rye whiskey.
Yep.
Because you had one and it just
Yeah.
probably burnt the shit out of your mouth. It went jet
was like,
fuel on
nope.
you. Which Basil Hayden Dark Rye has that whole jet fuel reputation. So I think we should definitely try that one out and see what you think. But I'm still stuck on this. Like it's so smooth. It's so easy drinking. I mean, that's a wow. That's a wow for me for sure. I'm stuck more on the how easy it sips. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting focused on that instead of the actual flavors that are on the palate.
I'm just doing a quick look here.
Oh yeah, what is notes?
So the tasting notes on the straight rye say medium chestnut on color.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? I've never eaten a chestnut. I don't even know.
On the nose, we've got dark chocolate with spice and a hint of smoke.
Okay, so you called smoke? Like where to go? Okay, yeah, light smoke.
The palate says rich baking spices and honey backed up with smooth oak influences.
You
Long
said
and lingering
palate?
finish on palate. On the Toasted, we've got a burnished copper color. On the nose, toasted oak and creme brulee, almonds and hazelnuts.
Okay, so that's nose.
That's nose. On the palate, soft, creamy mouthfeel, milk chocolate with subtle baking spices.
Did you say something about milk chocolate?
I did.
Okay.
I totally
I
did.
didn't write that down. I'm sorry.
And then on the finish, softly warming with lots of long, drawn-out spices.
You could say that
can-
about either one of these.
Yep,
This
yep.
one here, it's so It's so mellow. Everything in here is long and drawn out. It sticks with you. Mm-hmm. And you know what? On the nose, there is a bit of a cocoa kind of smell on that toasted, and that I didn't even pick up on until you kind of go back and forth.
Spoiler alert. I think I might have bumped my presentation up from the last time we did Elijah Craig.
You know what? We haven't even talked bottle presentation on this episode.
We haven't.
Walk us through what all you got.
Off camera, before we got started, we talked about our previous scores from one of the barrel proof offerings of their bourbon. And, I think I gave it a 375 on presentation.
Yeah, that was barrel proof.
Yeah, we did an episode with my sister and brother-in-law, and we did the standard small batch, we did the toasted barrel, and we did the barrel proof. I think we had the C923, and they had the A124 or something like that. Or maybe we had 22 and they had 23. So we got into it, and I gave it a 375. All three of those bottles are essentially the same. They're all the exact same shaped bottle. They just have different information on there. We've got rye, so we've got green in our band on the neck. We got green in the label on the front of it. I've bumped it up a little bit because now that we had three previous. Actually, we had three previous, and I think we've also done another barrel proof. So 4. This is 5 and 6 from Elijah Craig.
So they need their own. They kind of do.
Page.
What do we call it?
Well, distiller's page. Well, to that point, we need a Heaven Hill because you got Heaven Hill, you got this, and I think that's all from them so far.
It's the distillery. It's not.
And so, anyway, the point I'm making with bringing that up is, I feel like it's a unique bottle, and it actually extends quite the offering that they have. So yeah, when we get around to that, I bumped my presentation up a little bit.
On the straight rye. What did you give it on the nose?
Give it 4 1/4.
Damn, so did I. How about that? That's pretty cool. We had so many things on the palate. We were both stoked to try both of these bottles. So yeah, I was very happy to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different things on the nose alone. Before we even moved on to the palate, which we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things on. And probably more if we just spent more time with it, getting to know it for sure.
Yeah, we got a good amount left. So.
We do have a good amount left,
so we can spend some time with it.
But one of us has to drive home, and his name rhymes with Jonathan. So, speaking of palate, where are you at on the palate?
On the straight, I just kept it 4 1/4.
Okay. Mine went up to 4.5.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the palate. Like I already went through all these. I counted custard, creme brulee, caramelized sugar, like on the creme brulee, rye, oak for me showed up later. I was, the more pulls you get into it, the more you discover, like, oh yeah, okay, so this note just showed up. That's wild. But how about finish?
Kept it 4 1/4. I got a pattern going on here.
Yeah, no kidding. So you got a pattern. You're gonna be predictable on me here. Makes me wonder what it is you're gonna do with bottle presentation, because before you gave it a 375.
Yeah.
At least on the barrel proof. So I'm wondering if you said you bumped it up.
I just bumped it up to an even 4.
Even 4?
Yep.
Okay. That's exactly what I gave it. I gave it an even 4. I mean, we didn't talk about it, but we can.
What a great stopper.
The neckband, they're color coded. It says Toasted Rye. What does that one say? Does it say straight rye? It just says rye.
Kentucky straight.
Up on the neckband.
Oh, yeah, just rye.
The topper, like the dark mahogany, it's got, what is that, laser etched?
Laser etched.
We talked about it. It's a really cool topper. The cork is your regular size cork, but for whatever reason, it looks a little skinny.
It's a great. I mean that top on there is pretty substantial.
Definitely. And the flared lip of the bottle.
Yep. And I love the taper on there to meet.
It's almost reminiscent of Angel's Envy bottles. Angel's Envy has a little bit of a flare at the bottom, and I think they're a little taller.
Yes.
Definitely taller. Definitely thinner, I think. But yeah, I really dig the bottle. Bottle.
Yeah, it's a great bottle.
Really, you don't need a whole lot of information off of these because you can find any information
and you got the
you could ever want and more
embossed
online. So really, you don't need a whole lot of information on here. But yeah, that's one thing. The only thing besides what you can find on the punt, the only thing that's embossed is 1789, which is that the distillery's opened year, the year they opened.
Yep.
Officially.
Yep.
So I mean, we're talking 1789, right after the Revolutionary War.
Distilled and bottled by the Elijah Craig Distillery Co., Bardstown, Kentucky.
Yep, and you've been there.
I have been there.
You've seen it.
Also known as Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill. Yeah, and so, so we both really like the bottle. So your final score, what was your final score?
8 3/8. 8.375.
Wow, okay. So once again, my score was a little higher because my score was 8.5. You got 8 3/8, which is very close to 8.5. So let's switch over because we just want to make sure that we do this and we don't take up your entire day.
What did you give it on the nose?
On the nose, I gave it a 4.5. For me, the nose was damn fine. It was incredible. It still is incredible. It gave me a wow. I didn't write the wow.
I'm not mad at this nose at all, but I dropped it. I actually came down to a 3.75 on the nose.
Wow.
Half point off of the straight one. These are both 90.
Were you wowed at all? No, you were more like a
The first one wowed me. I mean, we say a wow is anything over 4.
Yeah.
Had 4.25 on the first one. The first one, or the toasted one, these are both 94 proof, and so there's no ethanol proof getting in the way.
There's no stab. There's no pinch.
But there's something on the nose that was just not off-putting, but just made me go, huh.
Huh, he says. Yeah, to me, it's like French toast. It's like French toast breakfast.
So, anyway, 3 3/4. Palate. What'd you give on the palate?
On the palate, I gave it a 4.75. I bumped it up a 1/4 point from my nose because for me, everything that was on the nose exploded on the palate.
All right, so for me, the straight rye, I gave a 4.25 to.
Yeah.
This one, I bumped it up to 4.5.
Okay, so the palate was better.
That's where everything showed up. It said, "We're here to party."
Yeah, and it's not exactly your pinkies up party where you got the monocle and the whatever, but and it's also not like your redneck dancing around the fire with no shirt on, and it's certainly no into existence party. Like I wouldn't want to be mean to this bottle and take it to into existence band practice.
It would die.
It would die an unholy death, and it would not die an honorable death. No, not at all. But that brings us to finish.
Yeah.
Finish we just talked about has like 6 different points: oak, caramel, kind of a creamy caramel, a medium length, kind of lingering taste there, maybe mint, but definitely allspice.
Yes.
So. I'm interested to hear what you got. Or did you ask me?
I didn't ask you yet, but I gave it 4.25.
4.25. Well, I'm a full point or full half point above you. 4.25.
Math.
4.25. Really?
Yeah.
That's all right. I really liked it. I really.
I did too. I really did too.
I really liked them both, but this one here. Like this one reminded me of the smooth, sweet, not butterscotch, but like just really, really nice experience that you had with the that Michter's 10-year rye. It reminded me of it when I started drinking it. So like, spirit fingers, jazz hands. Anyway, so this one's about Elijah Craig, Toasted rye.
So what was your final?
Bottle presentation.
Bottle presentation. I kept it at 4.
You kept it at 4. Okay. Okay, and so did I.
Yep. Same bottle.
Same bottle.
Different information, same bottle.
Yeah. It's color coded, just like your red breast whiskeys would be.
It's actually
they're both green.
They are, but that one's slightly darker green.
Yeah, because it's toasted.
It's toasted.
When you toast your rye, it's going to be a little darker.
I mean, and the color is a little darker. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your final score?
8 1/4.
8.25. Mine was 9. So we got a 3/4 point spread. I really liked this one a lot, and I really did like the other one. I gave it 8.5. You gave it an 8 3/8.
I ended up being an 1/8 a point different.
Yeah, between the two of them. So you could go for one, you could go for the other. What would make you choose one over the other?
I guess I'm just gonna have to get back into them and try them again.
Gar. So yeah. All right. So you get back into them. I mean,
speaking of
mood or cocktail. What cocktail? Dude. Yeah. So if you were to make a cocktail with that one, it's got kind of a sharper kind of bite to it. It's your more traditionally flavored rye.
So recently,
it's 93 proof.
Yeah. So recently, I've done a Midnight Manhattan, and I've done the
beautiful cocktail,
the Revolver.
If you follow on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, X,
I think
then you've seen the pictures of that Midnight Manhattan.
I think either one of these are great contenders for that. This one, I feel just is going to shine in both of those cocktails. And maybe even just a regular Manhattan.
Yeah. This one here, it's so good neat. I don't know if I'd want to put it in a cocktail.
It is. I think either one of these also, great candidate for a rye old fashioned.
Yeah. Weren't old fashions
maybe use honey
made with rye way back in the day?
They were. Rye or bourbon, but yeah,
bourbon.
Rye.
Yeah, we use bourbon more now than anything.
With this though, because we picked up on the honey notes, I would maybe either use honey as my sweetener or go back to maple syrup.
Let the maple and the honey duke it out.
Because if you use Demerara, the Demerara is gonna go.
It's gonna overpower it.
I got you.
I got you, fam, and then punch you in the face like your Irish best friend. Yeah. So oats show up on the toasted second nose. Oats and honey, maybe oak, and then I come back over here. Second nose on this one is pretty much gone because this one here just wins the day.
Yeah, second nose on the toasted, honey for days.
I mean, yeah, okay. So oats is still here, not as much honey. Rye is still there. Rye is still there in his glass, ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems. So you heard me shout out the socials. We're also on YouTube. If you're listening to any of the streaming apps, you're definitely checking us out there.
Bell notification.
Yep, hit the subscribe and the bell notification to stay up to date on all things Savor the Burn. If you're watching on YouTube, where else are they going to watch us? Oh, Spotify. They could watch on Spotify.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just audio only though on Spotify, right?
No, Spotify is
and video.
To my knowledge, Spotify is the only streaming audio platform that supports full video.
The more you know. And so it's not just Spotify. There's Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora. Anywhere you stream, we're there.
Yep.
And we're very, very proud of that. We do get told, hey, I listened to you guys on Pandora the other day. I'm like, really? Which episode? I'm like, oh, I don't know. But whatever. Thank you for listening. But I guess that brings us to it. Do you have any closing thoughts on either one or both, or what do you got?
These are amazing. You know, I can't believe it has taken us this long to visit the Elijah Craig Ryes. You know, to me, the brand Elijah Craig is first and foremost bourbon. When I think about Elijah Craig, I think of small batch bourbon.
Yeah.
I think about toasted barrel bourbon. I think of barrel proof bourbon. And then I've seen the straight rye on the shelf forever, just haven't gotten to it. And it's like a $30 bottle.
30.
It's a cheap bottle. But I had a email that came through the other day for this toasted rye. I didn't even know it existed.
Who?
From Wooden Cork.
Okay. So shout out to Wooden Cork for giving us that heads up.
I didn't even know that there was a toasted rye, and according to their website, it's basically the exact same straight rye. They've just used the same process that they do. Yeah, it's aged a little longer because they follow the same process as their toasted barrel bourbon.
Oh, okay.
So when they're done with this, they put it back in a fresh, new toasted barrel
and just age
it a little longer.
They're probably like, hey, what if we put rye in that barrel? You're like,
and it is a new barrel.
let's do it. Yeah, brand new.
They're putting it in a
American
new white oak barrel that they've just toasted.
Yep.
So it's
and the toasting process is a little bit different than the barrel char.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the barrel char, they just hit it with flame hard.
Yep.
With toasting, it's a smaller flame, but it stays hot and it just slowly.
Yep. It basically just it browns the inside.
It browns the inside, yeah. Just like I like with my my marshmallows. You like them a little charred, a little on fire.
I like my marshmallows level 5. 4.5.
I like them toasted. But whatever. So yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with you.
So yeah, I saw that email and I was I think it was a $45, $50 bottle.
For that bottle?
Yes. So I'm like, guess what's going to be arriving?
That's what's going to happen. I'm really glad that you got this bottle. That's really something.
Both of them are very approachable. Even if you aren't into ryes, I feel like both of these are winners.
Yeah. Yeah, this one here would be a close second if you got a friend or you yourself, somebody in your family, somebody's looking to get into rye. You know, like, I don't know, maybe I had one, I didn't really like it that much. If you want to introduce somebody to a decent rye, check out this Elijah Craig Straight Rye, or my first choice would be the Michter's Straight Rye.
Oh man! I mean, you cannot go wrong with that.
Our Michter's,
and that's about a $48 bottle. So the Elijah Craig is a little bit more affordable.
It is
from that standpoint, but yeah, the Michter's.
If they like that, they're going to love this. I think,
and that's the cool thing too is this is a small batch. The Michter's Straight Rye is single barrel. It's always single barrel. For the rye. Their rye is always single barrel. Whether it's the $38 bottle or the
$200. Yeah. I mean, if you find it in MSRP, it's $200.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a great experience. I've really been looking forward to this one tonight. I mean, we've talked about this now for weeks, and I was stoked, looking forward to this. So if you have a friend looking for a rye, or you yourself or a family member, whatever, if anyone you know is looking for a rye, send them this episode, however you watch it or you listen to it, and let us know what they think.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Send us an email, info@savortheburn.com, w2@savortheburn.com, or jonathan@savortheburn.com. And guys, we will read it. We will respond because we're still a small-time podcast. We're very happy to return the engagement with the feedback that we get.
Yes, sir.
So I guess without further ado, man, if you like this, if you like rye, pick up either one of these bottles and let us know what you think. You're not going to go wrong with either one of them.
Nope.
So, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget. Keep on burning.